I'm 31 years old. I live with my girlfriend in Chicago, and I work as a pedicab driver. I work at Cubs games and White Sox games and other events where there's a large gathering of people. We have such an active bike culture here. And that's one of the reasons I moved to Chicago. I'm really into bicycles. So I have a bunch of bikes in my garage right now that are all in various states of disrepair. At some point, I'm gonna try to get that organized into like a workshop kind of thing. Another thing I do is animal rescue, and that's something that actually my girlfriend and a friend of hers started. There's all these people leaving their cats in alleys or throwing them out of the house, or dogs, you know. And there's a real shortage, I think, of people involved. For me, it's a huge learning experience, and it's also something that makes me more committed to animal rights. I started getting involved in activism in college, not animal rights activism, just human rights activism of various kinds, labor issues, independent media type things. And I always said, you know, well, human needs come first. And then my activist friends who were vegan kind of just pointed out, well, why do you need to exploit animals at all? And they kind of helped me see that, like, different types of oppression are connected. So it took me a few years actually to realize that a lot of human prejudices and forms of oppression the dynamics of those are very similar, pretty identical actually, to the way we think about and exploit animals. I want to live a life that challenges prejudice and hierarchy, and kind of strives for equality amongst human beings and equal consideration for animals' interests as well. I used to see animals as food. You know, I used to eat hamburgers, and I never really thought about cows. But I was raised as a Hindu, and I was born in India. And for the first 6 years of my life, when I lived in India, we were vegetarian. And part of Hinduism is respecting animals and not killing them. But when I thought about it later on, when I was becoming vegan, I felt it was really inconsistent, because although vegetarians don't want to eat animal flesh, they're still eating animal products, which involve a great deal of suffering and exploitation. So I wanted to not be part of that exploitation. My view of animals today is I look at an animal and I see an individual. Every time I see the other side of it, every time I see McDonald's or a person eating meat or talking about it, like, I don't want to go back there, because I was part of that environment, and I'd rather get them to come to my side. Sometimes I'll work with other animal rights people, and we'll set up a table with vegan animal rights literature at different events, and so people will come to the table and they'll say things like, "Oh, I could never be vegan. You know, I respect what you do, but I could never do that." And then they walk away, and I can't even ask why. Like, why do you treat me like some sort of superhero? I'm just an average person. Like, I'm just a dude who, like, wakes up in the morning, makes oatmeal, and then goes to work, and there's nothing special about it. But then they have all these preconceptions, and in a way I can understand it, because I was like that. You know, I used to say things like that and make all these excuses. I kind of leave it to other people to approach me rather than approaching them. But I'm kind of moving in more of a direction of, I want to start approaching other people, because what changed for me was my friends approaching me. You know, like, they were the ones who were the animal rights activists, and they were proactive and, like, talking to me. And I'm still kind of at this point where I'm a little too shy to kind of, it's almost like there's like a line you're crossing. It's like when you cross that line, it's like you're entering into this realm of, like, evangelizing or something like that. people don't like that. But that's how I changed, and that's how I think most people change, is somebody reaches out to them and brings up the issue and starts talking.